At YaleFry_ said, when will I be able to get my hands on a Dylan Lewis death grip frame? We're hoping to have those in pretty damn soon as well. Pretty excited about that. So yeah, we do have some on order, and I think they're going to be here in the next month or so. So looking forward to it. Connor_C_ said, what is your most sold product? It's probably a little bit of a boring one, but I'd say tubes. We sell a lot of tubes, and then we probably sell ODI long necks would be pretty close. Well, not close, but that would be the next most popular. As well as over the years, we've sold a lot of Odyssey Aitken tyres. They've been super popular since they first come out. At Micah Heathwood said, is there going to be any jams or jams you're thinking of making this coming summer? And what is the best way of making your own jam? I really like this question. I've kind of mentioned it before about having your own jam. I think the most important thing to know is take that Sterling jam that we had, the Tay-Tay's hip jam. All that was Tom and I decided that we wanted to have a jam. I made a flyer. It was a pretty stupid flyer, and we posted it, and people came to the jam. If anyone wants to have their own jam, that's essentially all you need to do. Like, everyone has Facebook. Everyone has Instagram, or like people that are sending in questions obviously have Instagram. All you need to do is jump on your computer or whatever, or grab a pen and some paper and make a jam flyer to wherever you want to have the jam. If you want to have a jam at Fadden Skate Park, if you want to have a jam at Cairns Skate Park or Torquay or wherever it is, just decide that's where you want to do it. Say it's your birthday coming up in September. You just decide, all right, I'm gonna have a jam there for my birthday. It's gonna be at this skate park at this time. You make a flyer, even if it's, you know, not the best flyer, and you post it, and then you ask your mates to post it as well. Like, obviously we're pretty lucky, Backbone's got a pretty good following, but there's a young guy here, Reese, that I'll shout out to, Reese Ashton. He is one of the only dudes that I know who is he wanted to have a jam at Woden, for example. I think it was earlier this year. He just made a flyer and asked us to post it, and we did. We just shared it and told everyone that there was going to be a jam at Woden, and lo and behold, there was a jam at Woden. So yeah, if you want to have a jam, no matter where you live in Australia, legitimately all it takes is to make a flyer, set a date, and hold a jam, and tell all your mates. Tell them to share it on their Facebook page. So easy. Sounds like jams don't have to be a serious thing, like the one at the hip that we just had on the weekend. It was just a one jump thing, like it was just this, you know, dirt hip, and heaps of people loved it, so it was sick. That's all it needs to be. All right, at Dill_low, D-Low, it's a man, Canberra Shredder. He said, what things might you guys be able to do to encourage the younger riders to get them hooked on the trails here in the ACT? That's a really good question. It's probably not one that I'd be able to answer. I think it just takes kids to be able to decide that they want to put in the effort to ride jumps, and the effort that's required to ride jumps is to help out. Like, I think if just pushing the positivity, like the positives of trails in general, will hopefully get kids psyched. And to be honest, there is kids that are psyched. We've been talking to a lot of kids that have been coming into the store and they've been building jumps, you know, various places around Canberra. So that's really sick to see, because I think trails is one of those things that, although it's one of the smaller, you know, like more tight-knit sort of subcultures almost in BMX, I think it's one of the most important ones. And the reason why is it's just so close to our roots. It's so good that people go out and they're proactive about building stuff. If you actually get the chance to ride what you've built, you'll realize that there is almost no better feeling than riding something that you've built, especially when that thing is getting you in the air as high as you are willing to go, which is pretty sick. You know, as a little side note, I reckon trails are just sick in the fact that you get the most out of the least effort. You know, you're flying through the air, but you're not really trying to, so that's a pretty sick feeling. But yeah, I think kids just need to get out there and build themselves and see what it's like to build jumps and enjoy being out in nature almost. Like, it's just really fun digging jumps. Seems like it'd be a lot of effort, but a lot of the time it's just really fun. Whoa. At Lucky Mile has a tough question to answer, and that is, who has the best 360 table in Australia? Comes down to personal preference. I personally like the more classic style 3 table. Knees have to be over, handlebars have to be turned. Whoa, there's a lot of dudes. I also like the fact that they have to be, they don't have to be, but when they're over a dirt jump, just looks way sicker, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Will Gunn. Will Gunn, best 360 table in Australia. However, short list: Johnny McKellar, Russell Brindley, Dane Searles. Yeah, it's probably my short list. So there's a couple of questions here on the whole style thing, so I'll group them all together. At Musty_Sanchez_BMX said, thoughts on the division in BMX at the moment? For example, the more trails oriented guys compared to street guys and park guys. And on top of that, tech riding versus style, i.e. tail whips or tabes. J-Dog also said, why style will never go out of style? And then Bro_CrossBMX said, what's your take on trails versus park versus street? And how hard is it to host your own jams? The jams part I think I covered just before, but I think it just comes down to people just want to ride what they want to ride. Having said that, I really like when someone can sort of ride everything. It's not that they have to necessarily be, let me rephrase that. It's not that, I think just people need to be open-minded and not be like, I like the idea, for me personally, I just like riding my bike, so I'll go out with dudes that are riding street, and yeah, I can't ride street like the way everyone else does, and you know, I can't ride it to any sort of level that anyone else does, but I'll go ride street because riding my bike is fun to me. So it's the same with, I'm not going to count out riding some tiny skate park because I like to ride bigger transition stuff. I will just ride whatever. I mean, there's obviously things that I would prefer to ride, but I think people should be a little bit more open-minded with riding, or I think that's something to maybe just think about, so that riding doesn't become stale for you personally. You know, there's nothing wrong with, I think, just dismissing the labels on yourself and just deciding that I'm just going to ride my bike, and whatever is fun, then I'll do that. Like right now, and I'm just speaking anecdotally, of course, but you know, right now I really like going to the racetrack and doing gates. Like I really like going and riding with my friends when they go ride street. I really just like searching for spots. Like I'm not even going to do, I'll find rails and be psyched on it, but I'm never going to do a rail. So, but I think as long as you're out riding your bike and having fun, then it's not necessary to pigeonhole yourself so much, because then it's just going to make, you know, like if the amount of experience that BMX can give you is this much, but the amount of experience that BMX street can give you is only, you know, a quarter of that. If we're talking street, park, trails, vert, flatland, so it's a fifth of that, then you only have this much experience to go off. So why not just be like, oh, I'm just going to ride my bike, and whatever is fun to me, then I'll do it. Yeah, and then as far as style, never going out of style, I don't know, if no one's read Brian Foster's interview in the Ride UK that came out probably 5 or so years ago, I'll try and dig up hopefully it's online, I'll put the link below. But he says something about how if you basically, you can have something tasty and just add a bit of sauce and makes it taste good. But if you drown that thing in sauce, then all you got is a soggy pile of mess. And I think that's kind of the way, you know, style is for me. When I look at style, I think that you can do things with finesse, and you can choose to, you know, just put a little bit of sauce on it and it will look good, but more isn't necessarily better. I think he says something about you can watch Taj do a can all day long, but you know, you don't remember his no foot can one-handers. It's because the can is timeless. So yeah, just don't overcook things. Yeah.